Welcome to Tranquilly Coding. This is our fourth video of this series, Appwrite for Android with Kotlin. In our previous video, we have learned how to create a singleton instance for the Appwrite client, and we have created a MVVM structure. Today in this video, we'll learn how to create a registration screen with Appwrite client with an UI that we previously designed. So in one of our previous video, we have learned how to create a simple login registration screen. In this video, we're going to use the registration part, and in the next video, we will add the login. These two are pretty simple and pretty basic, so I'm not going to get too much detail on the design part. We already have that on that video. I will add the link to the cards. So it's look like kind of this. I have made some changes in the UI. Let's run and see the changes. There we go. So this is our login screen, and this is the register screen. You can alter from there as well. This is a simple design. In our previous video, I didn't edit the name, but I made this change and I adjusted some color. That's all. This is all inside an activity that is called login registered activity, and this has a frame layout. If I show you the layout, this is the frame layout, and inside it we have three fragments. This is the welcome fragment, it is the landing screen, this one, and we have two other fragments. One is login fragment, one is register fragment. So let's create our functions first, how the login registrations are gonna be. So we go to the repository. Previously we created this one, the create account. Let's organize this. We need to pass three parameters, that will be our email, password and name. So let's pass this parameter. First one is email, and it will be a string, and we will pass the password, that will be a string as well, and then the name, and also this is a string. And now instead of hard-coded strings, we pass this variables. So email, then we pass the password, and we pass the name. If you want to know what other parameters it use, you can just click on the create. So this is all three actually. So what does it returns? This user function returns a user map of string and any. Let's create a variable so we can actually see what it does and how it works and stuff. Let's call it user, and it will be a mutable live data, and it will be a user map of string comma any, and this can be nulled, so pass a question mark there. And this is our get variable for public access. So now we need to put this into try and catch, because if there is something error, for example if the email exists, then it will give an Appwrite exception. Let's put this all into the try block. And the catch block will catch Appwrite exception. I'm just going to log it. So when we get the user data, we need to post the value to the user. So user dot post value, and that will be this user. So whenever our account creation is done, it will return the user and post the value to this variable. We can access this variable or observe it through our activity or fragment or any places that we want through our ViewModel. So if there is an exception, we want to pass the null value. That's why we made it nullable. So whenever the value is null, we will post the value of the user to null. If there is any exception or any kind of problem with the Appwrite, we can get the value null, and from the UI we can make any changes to the UI or show a toast to the user or an error dialog maybe if the user encounters with this problem. So this is done. Now we need to create the ViewModel properly. So the create method, it will have the same parameters, so I'm going to just copy this here, and here we will just pass the email, password and name. And now we will create the same variable here, and it will just call the repository and get the variable. This is the variable that we can observe from an activity or an fragment. So let's check our console. We already have an user. Yes, let's delete this user, and now we go back to the activity. This one doesn't handle any of the logics. All of this has been moved to the fragment, so this is the register fragment. So now we need to get the IDs and create the system of this login and registration. So first we will get the IDs from separate field. You can add text watcher in all of this field to verify your criteria. For example, for name, email, password, you can check if those are empty or not, email is correct structure or not, password is repeated like same password or not. I am not going to bother all of this. You can set your own text watchers. This is for later. I will add this as to do. So now I'm going to just do how when we click the register button, what it will do. So binding dot, let's see what is our ID over here. There is no ID given. Button sign up, BTM sign up. So we will just get the strings for all of this. So val name, and I have taken the view binding of the screen, like read the build feature view binding, so I don't have to deal with the numerous IDs that we encounter. This is the view binding with lazy initialization. Text to string. Same for the email, password and confirm password. Let's set the IDs. This is the helpful part of Copilot, like I don't need to write these stuffs which doesn't actually matter that much. Okay, done. So basically in here only thing I will check is that if the password and the confirm password is same or not. If password, so I just want to give it toast and return. Either else I want to add like much of the text watcher or show like an error, set an error to the text input layout. I'm not gonna do that right now. Let's just move on to creating the account. So we have our view model. This is this view model. Let's add into this fragment. So instead of this view models, we will use activity view model. and this is from coin. So yes, this is the one. If we use it in the activity, we will use view models, but if we use from fragment, we will use activity view model. So now we will try to create the account. So Appwrite ViewModel dot create account, and we pass the parameters. Now we want to check what happens after the user created the account. So we have a variable, that is this user variable. This is observable, so we will observe this and see the changes when we create an account. User dot observe, and this is the ViewModel lifecycle owner, and it has the parameter of observer. So we'll just pass the empty one. Now if it can be null, so we have set it as null. So if it is null, let's add the else function. Yes, so if the account creation is successful, if the account creation is successful, then we will see this toast, and if not, we will see this account creation failed. And also this user variable contains a lot of stuff. Let's see what does it contains. Let's go to this user. This is a data class. It contains the ID, created date, updated date, name, password, and everything. So we can use simply as a data class. It will return the data class, and data class is more usable stuff than a JSON. So it is better, we can simply use and call anything from here. For example, if you want the name, so val name, we can simply call it it.name. Val email, we can call it.email. If you want to check like if it is verified or not, val is email verified. So it.email verification is, as it is a data class inside the Appwrite main SDK. This is io.appwrite.models. So we already know the type of each of the things. It is very much helpful. So we can get this data, and we can also log this data. Let's add a log e, and in here we are going to add this values to check if all of these things are added or not. Okay, we can right now run this. Let's run it. And in the console, as you can see, we don't have any users at all. So register, you can create with an email or anything. Password, I'm just going to pass 123. Let's pass 0000000. We need like around 8, minimum 8 zeros. I guess this is done. Okay, and we send it. Account created successfully. We have the toast. So let's check. In our logcat, we have the name, email, and account verification false. It's not getting these values from the edit text field. As you can see, we're observing the user, and from this user we are getting this name, email. So let's check the console, and in the console we have this user with these details, name, email, and everything. Yes, so this is done so far. We have added the registration screen. At the documentation, after we create the registration screen, we will not be logged in directly. We need to create an email session. So after creating this account, you need to create a new account session. So after we create this, we will get a response of this user as I showed you, and after that we will be learning to create how to create an email session. So that will be using email and password, and this email session will keep us logged in, or we can log out and delete the session, or each time we launch the app we can actually get the session and check if the user is still logged in or not, or if there is anything wrong. So for now this is done. Today we just learned how to add it to the view model and get the variable and check this, observe this if it is failed or not. So if we try the same value again, for example, let's try it again. So we got an exception, and user ID with the same ID or phone already exists in this project. So this is our log, so it already exists one of the things. Let's try again. So account creation failed, we got the toast and the log is here. So that's why we added the nullables and we added this catch exception. So if anyone tries to create the same account with this email, it will create an exception. We can avoid this exception beforehand without calling this create method. That will be for another topic. That will be if we use a database. For example, if we store all the emails inside a collection of documents that will contain the user profile, we can contain this email, and from the database we can query if this email exists or not, and from there we will simply know if this email is repetitive or not. If it is repetitive, then we will show an error. If not, then we can pass it to create. So there is no chance of exception in that case. So this is all for today. I will see you in the next video, and we will learn how to create a login screen and the sessions.